Obviously, getting very frustrated. Anytime that you put yourself in the position that we were in today, have a chance to win a game, and you can't pull it out just because of some things that fundamentally break down for us. We obviously can't give up long pass plays. Those two pass plays absolutely positively killed us. I think right before the end of the half to give up that touchdown after the penalty and force on the kickoff return, just so many things that can be easily corrected. I get excited about the way the guys have competed. I think a case in point, try to find positives in bad situations. But Julian Horton is a guy that just amazes me the way he's come back the last 2 weeks. And as a head coach, you always get frustrated. If you're in this situation, obviously I've never been at this point, but I've been a part of seasons, and your seniors are usually the first one to disconnect, and you lose them. I think a guy like Julian Horton comes up with 4 catches today. Is practicing as good as I've ever seen him practice, doing everything we want him to do away from the game. And that shows me that these kids are believing in what we're saying and doing. Obviously, we want wins, but it's hard to say that a 3-7 football team is in the right direction. But I think it is. It reminds me just so much of different things I've seen and experienced in programs that it's going through some really dark days to get to where we want to be. And hopefully that day comes sooner than later.
You have one possession in the third quarter to take the lead, get to the 39, halfback pass.
Yeah, obviously Jay Will, as we know, can throw the football through the the couple to the same side on that sweep play. We want to throw a throwback to Brandon. Obviously didn't break or didn't execute as cleanly as we wanted, but those things happen.
Did you second guess that call at all?
What's that?
Did you second guess that call?
I don't second guess any calls. Just you make the call. You make it, you live with it or die with it, and obviously didn't have the execution. If it hits, you're going to be happy.
The call they made on Brooks on the interception return was kind of right in front of you guys.
I'm not doing this to you. I'm just going to say next question. You know what I mean? That's what I got to do. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Do you think that the game changed right there when the halfback pass didn't work?
It took huge momentum, but I'll go back. We picked that pass off, and EB skirting down our sideline. We got the ball on the 20-yard line with a minute and whatever it was, 48, 50 seconds. But again, a critical penalty called with a block in the back. I mean, that's momentum. That's what it is.
You mentioned the 2 touchdown passes that you said feel good. Fundamentally, in your experience, watching pass defenses, what is going on with that?
Well, first, the first one I'll take out the over the top. Eric Bennett was a double move. He actually is on top of the guy on the first move, and then he kind of did a flinch, and he stopped his feet, and that receiver never broke stride, and he went, we went on past him, and then we were trailing for the rest of the play. That was the breakdown there, and then the other one on the far boundary, away from our sideline, was just relatively a pretty simple hitch screen, and we come up, and Tevin missed a tackle, obviously, and then the worst breakdown of that play is we missed a tackle, obviously, but what we got to do is leverage the ball there. It's kind of, even though it's totally 2 different plays, it's the same play in the Alabama game where it's a 2-yard tackle for loss and we miss it. The guy breaks outside the edge. We don't leverage the ball, and the guy goes 68 yards for a touchdown. We miss a tackle there. He comes down. We should leverage the football. Our guy takes an inside path to the football, and it breaks the rest away for a touchdown. It's fundamental football of defensive guys understanding how to leverage the ball so other guys can make tackles.
What do you think of still being in the game, though, after those 2 plays and having a chance?
Our kids don't give up. They're going to fight to the end, and at some point they're going to be rewarded because of it. But, yeah, it's very frustrating.
In practice, are your corners, are they tackling your offense?
We do tackling drills every day. We try to get creative, but obviously, Tevin's really struggling in that department, and that's why I went DJ Dean, and just going to have to get some other guys in there and rotate through, and also that's part of recruiting. We need to. I knew that was going to be a position that we just didn't have a lot of depth at, and guys are breaking down, and unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of answers right now.
You won't be able to go to a ball game now, 2 games left. Do you see a challenge to keep them motivated?
I just addressed that in the locker room. Obviously, we eliminated ourselves from going to postseason play. I've never been in this position as a head coach, so it was very frustrating just because I know what this team needs, and this team needs practices, and that's what it allows you to do is you get extra practices with our young guys. It allows you to do some more things within your program before spring ball. So we got 2 games to show what kind of pride we have. I think our seniors will lead the way. We had a bunch of seniors playing really good football today, and hopefully they'll continue out for the last 2 weeks.
Brandon Allen, a couple good throws and then throwing to coverage and just kind of up and down.
Yeah, he's a sophomore quarterback that needs to get better, and he needs to get better, and he knows it. I think he's hard on himself, but on the same account, he's a real tough kid, scrambling for those first downs, making some plays happen. Right there at the end of the game in the 2 minute, he's really executing it pretty cleanly. So I get it. I want him to get better too, but for sure he gives us the best chance.
You got your early long bus ride. Did you get the start you wanted? I know you didn't get the touchdown.
Well, we did. We had a little bit of a change up. We got here early. Went out on the field as a whole group and just trying to change that mojo. I didn't think we were flat by any means. We came out and we executed. We had the first field goal right, and then they answered with their field goal. Again, a turning point in my opinion was right before the half to give them those 7 points was a big deal.
Those 2 weeks in a row, you've had Marshall have 2 explosive plays.
Yeah.
Today, you're trying to get to the ball.
Yeah, he's obviously a very explosive player. He unfortunately got hurt today, otherwise would have went back to him even more. He just kind of goes at a different pace than everybody else. Very strong. The great news is he's a true freshman.
What happened?
I think it's shoulder. I know there's one on the leg, but I think the last one I just asked him when I was walking in here, and he said my shoulder, and he gave me a wink. So I think he'll be all right.
What about Swanson?
Travis, if anybody's ever had a dislocated finger, you realize how much pain that is. And I walked out there, and his finger was. I was hoping I wouldn't get in trouble because I told him to go down because he's my center, and I need to take a minute to. But his finger was completely sideways, so he snapped it back in and played like 2 snaps later. I mean, the kid's a freak show.
Did you make a decision on Sprinkle?
I made a decision that he wouldn't go in the second half with us. Yep.
Time for a couple more.
Obviously, playing for the onside kick, the field goal at the end. Just talk about that strategy.
What's that?
You kick the field goal at the end, obviously playing for the onside kick. Just talk about that strategy.
Trying to kick a field goal, you mean, or what?
Yeah. Well, yeah, instead of, just...
Well, it's 4th and 10. We'd gone 3 straight plays and hadn't been able to move the ball a yard, so simple math told us that we needed to have a touchdown and a field goal. Obviously, it's a longer field goal, but I've seen Hawk make that, so we went. And really, in the hope and the idea that he's going to make that field goal, then you have to get the onside, and you got to get it in the end zone. There's no indecision. There's no gray area there.
On the halfback pass, is that deal where Jim sends it down and you say, yeah, this is a good time for it, or was that more of a field position thing?
A field position thing, and yeah, I mean, I okay or nullify every call. I mean, I don't sit there and say yes or no to any call. I just, obviously let the play happen.
Still Dawson, more competitive these last 2 games than the previous several games.
Yeah, but that doesn't show up on the record. So I mean, I get it. And as a head coach, you can't get so bogged down with the negativity and with the losses that you lose sight of growth. And I got a group of kids. I think the neat thing for us is we'll go on the road and recruiting. Recruiting still remains very positive. I think because I know we got a good group of people here. Obviously we had a loss that last home game, but we had 5 or 6 official visit kids that absolutely had a great visit weekend, which shows you how positive Arkansas can be even in time of defeat.
I can see your frustration. What do you do differently this open week than you did the one before?
It's the last open week we actually had fall break schedule in there, so by NCAA rules there's a few things you could do differently. By this practice right here, or this week coming up, we don't have the luxury of that, but we'll work the kids Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday we'll give them off and let them come over and get a good jump on Mississippi State on Wednesday and Thursday with our 70-man travel roster. We'll have a great developmental practice on Tuesday and probably half of Wednesday and Thursday's practices as well, just to keep those guys going in the right direction.